Hi and welcome to Pelvic Exercises. I'm Michelle Kenway, physiotherapist and exercise instructor for women. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a safe squat. Now squats are a great exercise. They're great for strengthening and toning your bottom, your thighs, and they're also great for your hip bone density. And they're an exercise that you frequently see performed in women's exercise programs. However, they're also an exercise that has potential to injure your pelvic floor and also create soreness in your knees and your low back. So I'm going to talk you through step by step as to how to set up for the correct technique for doing your squat exercises, and I'm going to show you a couple of variations. We're going to be talking about how to do a wall ball squat and also how to do a mini squat away from the wall, and just with some variations on those exercises. Always remember, if you haven't exercised before, to get your GP's or your general practitioner's approval to exercise before you start exercising. So we're going to start first of all with our first exercise, which is our wall ball squat. So I want you to take your fit ball, if you've got one at home, and we're going to place it against the wall at about low back height. This ball needs to go into the curve or fit into the curve of your low back. That's where it should start. So you take your body so that the ball's fitted comfortably in the curve of your low back. Now, your positioning here is vital for your pelvic floor protection. You'll see many squats being performed with wide legs. That's not the way to protect your pelvic floor. They open up pelvic floor space and make it more difficult for the pelvic floor muscles to work in that position. So when you do your squats, you need to take your feet right out in front, and you need to make sure that your knees are about a fist width apart and your feet are about a fist width apart, and maintain those positions throughout your squat exercise. So we're setting up so that our feet are right out in front of our knees and the ball's in the curve of our back. Now when you squat down, I'm going to go side on now so that you can actually see what I'm doing with my knees and how I'm protecting my knees and my pelvic floor with the depth of the squat. It's vital that you get the depth of the squat correct. So if I come side onto the camera so that I can show you this position. So I've got the ball in the curve of my back. You can see I've got my feet out in front. Again, I've got my knees fist width apart. I've got my shoulders back and down nice and tall. I can see my toes in front of my knees, and you must be able to see your toes in front of your knees throughout. If your feet are too far back, you can see how your knees will go right in front of your toes, and you'll put shearing forces onto your knees and compromise your knees, ending up with knee pain and knee injury. So take your feet right out in front. Shoulders back and down, thinking yourself nice and tall. I want you to lower your bottom down and not too deeply. So you take, especially if you have pelvic floor issues, take your bottom down so that you're not squatting too deeply. Then tensing your thighs, pushing down through your heels as you come back up into standing, and then rest. Now, if you're fortunate enough to be able to activate your pelvic floor muscles as well, you'd activate your pelvic floor muscles now prior to the squat. Move down into the squat slowly, keeping the curve in your back. Push down through your heels, tense your thighs, and come back up into standing slowly and release. Let's do that again. So taking it down slowly, and again not too deep so that you don't injure your knees and you keep it safe for your pelvic floor. Push down through your heels and back up into standing. Another important point with that is to maintain the curve in your back. Can you see that when I'm squatting down, my curve in my back stays the same as I squat down and up? You'll sometimes see squats being performed where the bottom rolls under, and you can see what happens to my back there. And that can often make the back quite sore if you're squatting and curling your bottom under as you do so. So try and keep the curve in your back, maintain really good posture. I also try to feel my shoulder blades against the ball as well, so I'm really thinking about my postural muscles as well. So then you might like to try some variety and start into a reach with your squat and back up. And taking it down slowly, push down through your heels, come back up into standing. And repeating that. We'll repeat this for a full set. So we're going to go to 8 repetitions. And if you're doing this at home or in the gym, ideally you'd work between 8 to 12 repetitions at a time. And keep going. I think I'm at number 5. And a couple more, down slowly, breathe out and push up. 2 more, down slowly, breathe out and push up through your heels. And one last time down, breathe out and push up slowly. Now you can add progression to that exercise by adding weights onto your pelvis and holding them. Again, to keep it pelvic floor friendly, you would use light weights, holding them onto your hips. I have a set here which I'll show you how to use those. So if you're going to use weights with your squats, especially to keep it pelvic floor friendly, use them on your hips, not above your shoulders, and in that position, and you could squat down using your weights. Now that's a wall ball squat. If you don't have a ball at home, you might like to perform mini squats. Now, mini squats are another great exercise for your strengthening of your bottom, your thighs, and also too for your low back. Now, when you perform a mini squat, you take your feet again, just fist width apart again, knees are fist width apart. Your posture's nice and tall, your shoulders back and down. Now, when you go into this squat, your bottom comes out behind and your knees stay behind your toes as you squat down and come back up. So it's called a mini squat for that reason. It's a small squat. Again, vital that you keep your knees behind your toes, you keep your knees narrow or your knees close together, down, and keeping the inward curve in your back. You can see that when I squat down there, my curve stays in. I don't lose it as I squat and come back up. Keeping it pelvic floor friendly, taking it down, push down through your feet, come back up into standing, tensing your thighs, and go again, take it down and pushing back up. Now, if you're performing squat exercises for strength, ideally you perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. So that means 8 to 12 lots of 8 to 12 in a row, and then performing that 3 times. And ideally you do that 1 day on and 1 day off. So you're doing them 2 to 3 times a week. So let's review what we've talked about today. We've talked about how to do a pelvic floor safe squat. We've really focused on the importance of not making your squat too deep, and we've also focused on the importance of the position of your knees. Keep your squat safe for your lower limbs and for your legs in particular, for your knees. Make sure that you don't squat too deeply and that you keep your toes well out in front of your knees. And we've talked about a couple of varieties there. We've done a squat and reach, we've done a squat with weights, and we've also performed a mini squat. So I hope those exercises help you with your pelvic floor safe exercise. I've enjoyed exercising with you today, and I look forward to exercising with you again soon. Bye for now.